Good afternoon and welcome to this week's episode of the UMO Coaches Show. I'm Elise Maynard here with women's basketball head coach Wendy Lee. Coach, you guys had a tough weekend this weekend but pulled out two really close wins over King and Lees McRae respectively. Tell me how you thought your ladies performed and fought out these two conference games.
Well, they both were close. You got that right. And too close for comfort. So I feel like we just found a way. We kind of found ourselves in different spurts during the games and were able to capitalize on maybe our strengths, and we're still trying to find ourselves. So we'd like to be further along with that, but we're not. And then when we figured out what we're doing well and have built on it in the middle of some games lately, we've seen some production and some spurts. So we want to be able to play well for longer periods of time in the upcoming games, hopefully. But fortunately, we're able to string together enough possessions of really getting synced and playing well together and being able to finish close games in the past two games on Friday and Saturday. I think it's helped us build some confidence and build more clarity in what we're capable of doing and what we need to work on. So we got to use these two games and keep building. But I do appreciate and am very thankful that our girls were able to just figure it out and find it and turn around, like you say, after an overtime game with King where we really exerted ourselves and had to finish and turn around the very next day and play against a really tough Lees McRae team that took us down to the wire again, and still be able to finish another close game after having played an overtime game the night before. So give credit to the girls for finding that stamina and figuring it out.
Well, you mentioned your stamina and your confidence. You had several players that have been sharing minutes throughout the season step up for you with Kennedy Jones, Jalen Copeland, and Michaela Nichols. Yes, excuse my memory. What changed for them this weekend that throughout practice leading up to this weekend that helped them elevate their game a little bit more?
You know, that's hard to really identify. I think it was actually just being in the moment of the games that were, just requiring of them to be a factor. And they were in situations to where they were being asked to handle the ball, as Michaela Nichols was running the point in critical situations in the game on Saturday. And the game was extremely tight. She made a big-time play down the stretch and got a layup under a minute and separated us a little bit from Lees McRae. And she had to handle a lot of pressure and just getting us into our offense. And so I think it was just being out there and being asked to do this and just having enough confidence in herself and her teammates to feel comfortable to get it done. And then with Kennedy, we've started her the last couple of games, and I think having her just find herself in, you know what, they're counting on me and I got to do this. And I feel like they've just found a way and switched gear to the point where they're saying, my team needs me and I got to step up. And for Jalen, I think it was the same thing. She found herself in circumstances to where she knew we were counting on her and she stepped up to the challenge. So I thought Jalen on Saturday made some big-time stops and got some good defensive rebounds and started the break for us and got the outlet where it needed to be. And we had struggled with that a little bit in the first half in being able to start the break without turning it over. We were getting kind of harassed by their guards in the back court and turning the ball over before we could get down the floor. And Jalen had enough wherewithal to figure it out and was just kind of clearing them before they could come and really pressure us in the backcourt. So her sense of urgency improved and got us out quicker on the breaks, and I thought it just made a world of difference that we weren't struggling with getting it past half court. We had already cleared it out and making them keep up with us instead of us having to figure out how to get it up the floor. So, I think all three gave us valuable minutes, and I hope to see more out of them in doing that for us.
Well, you've got 4 road games coming up, as we discussed before the show, starting with Barton on Wednesday. Always a good rivalry there. How do you take what you and your team learned this weekend from the 2 close wins and try to take that moving forward with Barton and then 3 other road games at SWU, North Greenville, and Erskine?
Yeah, that's a tough schedule. We've got 4 away games, and I think we really have had a tough schedule this year. And I believe it really probably has negatively affected our confidence at times, that we've played a lot of tough road games and lost some games early, but all that's, history, and now it's just like you said, learning from the present situation that we're in, and we've got to learn from these past 2 wins, and I feel like that's, really a good thing, is that we can fortunately be learning from a win instead of a loss right now, because I think our confidence has struggled lately, and I hope that our confidence continues to grow, but we want to continue to learn and get better. So hopefully we're locked in more now after having 3 games since Christmas break, to where we've refocused on where we've got to get better. And I know before Christmas we were at a place, and now we're in a different point. So knowing what we got to do better, we need to be taking better care of the basketball, and we got to be doing a better job blocking out. We're able to really identify now that we've got games to prove our points to our players, and then go out and translate it into actions in practice. So just getting back in the routine of playing games, and thankfully being able to learn from a couple of good wins for us is where I hope we build on. And we've got tough teams ahead of us. SWU beat Limestone just last week, and everybody, there's a lot of parity in the league, so I think just a heightened sense of anybody could win it. I think that teams are starting to feel that way, and I think our team is aware of that as well, that everybody we're playing has a chance, and we've got this chance too, and it's making every game really difficult. So I don't expect any of the upcoming games to be probably any easier than what we just found, 1-possession games. And if our mindset is that way, I hope we're not ever comfortable in the fact that we just won 2 games, because everybody is playing well right now.
They're out to get you.
And I believe everybody's playing well, and I want us to play better, and I want us to stay focused, and I just think we got to keep our mentality where it needs to be for us to make this next four-game stretch on the road. Is we got to have a good mentality, and if we let up and we lose focus, then this is going to be a difficult situation. It's going to be tough to win on the road against good teams right now.
Well, you talked about your mental focus, and we'll wrap up with this one, but school starts this week on Thursday, and then you have the 2 games on the road this weekend, but Monday is off. So how do you keep the girls focused, obviously on school and on academia, but also on basketball and then your 4 road games?
Right. Well, that too becomes another problem, is we developed a routine for about 3 weeks, a week before Christmas, 2 weeks after, and it doesn't involve classes.
Right.
So they're in a different routine right now, and we're developing practice routine and getting in here, but then all of a sudden practice times change. The amount of time they have during the day to work on their game has changed, and they add classes and they're new professors. So we're just going to have to help make that transition with them. We got to help them stay on task and not require a ton of different things during the day. We got to really compartmentalize what we're doing and help them be able to put everything in its proper place, and get classes as a priority and get started off on a good foot, and condense and compartmentalize what we're doing with basketball to the point where we're extremely efficient with what time we're requiring of them and how much we're asking them to get in here outside of class. So we've both, as a team and a coaching staff, got to be good with time management and helping them make the transition back into being student athletes instead of just athletes. They've been athletes for about a month now,
right,
and we got to help them get back into that mindset. So that's a challenge for us as coaches and for them too. So we're ready, and I think the routine of getting back to going to class and then basketball is what has been missing, to be truthful. I think when we have that structure, we're better. And so I kind of look forward to it. I doubt they're ready to get back in class.
I don't think
But I feel like we're better and we're more structured and we're just more on task when we have classes involved. So it'll be a welcome change, I think, for us as coaches. But, too bad for the players. It's just going to have to happen.
All right, Coach. Well, we appreciate your time. We wish you best of luck on these upcoming road games. Beat Barton.
Yeah.
And I'm Elise Maynard here with head coach Wendy Lee, and that's this episode of the UMO Coaches Show.
Thank you.
Exceptional degrees at an exceptional value. That's transforming education. The University of Mount Olive, transforming education, transforming lives. Learn more at umo.edu. That's umo.edu.